everyone, and thanks for tuning in. I'm Amanda Ziadeh with WashingtonExec, and with me today is Jeff Raver. He's the Vice President of SAIC's Environmental, Social, and Governance Integration, who also leads the company's DE&I efforts. Thanks for being here today, Jeff. I wanted to start by asking about what your top priorities are in this role as a DE&I lead.
Hey, thank you, Amanda. I appreciate being here today. Back in the fall of 2022, SAIC made the decision to bring together our DE&I office with our ESG initiatives to form our new Office of Environmental, Social, and Governance Integration. So this really was all about aligning our corporate responsibility initiatives to our employees, our customers, our communities, and our shareholders into a centralized organization. Some of the key things that we're focusing on really are creating a work environment where every employee is empowered to be their genuine selves, working to ensure that our leadership reflects the diversity of the people that they lead. We also want to look at ways that our workforce can better represent the diversity of the customers that they're serving. We do a lot within ESG Integration Office around promoting environmental responsibility and strong corporate citizenship, as well as looking for opportunities where we can help our customers become better environmental citizens as well.
Great, wonderful. So considering February, this month is Black History Month, can you tell us a bit about how your organization is recognizing and observing this time? What initiatives are underway?
Absolutely. Our initiatives around Black History Month are primarily being led by our multicultural ERG, that is our employee resource group. Really, the month began by us celebrating our 5 Black Engineer of the Year award winners. If you're interested, you can check out their backgrounds and interviews with each of them on our SAIC.com site. We're also conducting leadership panels with 6 Black executives across SAIC. They'll be discussing with the employees their career journey, answering questions, providing insights about that might help them as they grow their careers within the company as well. We have a blog series that's focused on Black History Month theme of Black resistance and really focused primarily on the impact Black resistance has on art and literature in society as a whole. Year-round, we team with our partner Blue Ocean Brain to provide micro lessons and leadership resources, not only for Black History Month, but for all kinds of topics across the year. Across SAIC and over the course of the year, our leadership team is really focused on efforts that increase the number of women and people of color across our organization. This goal is not really unique to SAIC because healthy organizations that embrace diversity and understand that the unique experiences and backgrounds of all their employees really make our organization stronger. In 2021, we established goals to achieve parity between the representation of women and people of color within our leadership ranks. And we chose to do that over the next 5 years. And we have made significant progress towards those goals in the past year, including reaching parity of women with women in our leadership ranks and the women that are in our organization as a whole. These increases align with our desire to promote an inclusive workforce, not only because it's the right thing to do, but it is critical to providing our customers with new technologies and solutions that are better enabled by diversity of thought and our approaches as well. Basically, how are we doing some of this? We recruit from a lot of historically Black colleges and universities. We ensure that we have diverse slates of candidates as we go through our hiring initiatives. We really focus on paying for performance, and part of that performance is the expectation that women and people of color will be represented in leadership as a whole. We measure all of this and ensure that what gets measured really does get done across our industry.
Well, thank you for sharing all of that, Jeff. So how do all these DE&I efforts engage the workforce?
So again, as I mentioned before, our DE&I efforts are mostly focused in our employee resource groups, our ERGs. And really, there is significant engagement through the 7 ERGs that we have at SAIC. Post-COVID, the ERGs within SAIC have really become the engagement hub for much of our organization. They provide opportunities for fellowship, development, education, community engagement, and just basically giving back. Whether those events are virtual or live, they really have become the place where our employees gather to talk outside of their normal work environments, outside of the groups that they formed to get their job done on a daily basis. Some of the things that our ERGs are really doing, our STEM ERG sponsors a number of local robotics clubs around the country. They provide both resources to the robotics clubs, plus they provide judges, mentors, other things for students as well. Our Equality Alliance LGBT group supports initiatives around Feeding America. Our Women's ERG is very focused on things like LLS and support for women's organizations. And these organizations really are all about getting employees engaged and not just giving back money. One of the key things that we've been focusing on is if we provide resources to an organization, we want to find ways that the employees can be involved, whether that's live or virtual, so that gives them that experience of connection that they may be missing now that we're in such a distributed workforce.
So how do you plan to expand from these efforts going forward?
So right now, we're in the process of looking at what's called a materiality assessment of both our DE&I and our environmental, social, and governance initiatives. This assessment basically looks across all of our stakeholders to better understand what are the most important elements of both our DE&I initiatives and our ESG initiatives that would affect the company the most. We'll be asking board members and customers, suppliers, and the employees to try to get a better sense of what's important to us. So that's a big initiative that we're taking on this year. We're working now to establish our ESG Leadership Council. This will allow both leaders within the corporation as well as many folks from within our workforce and other stakeholders to sort of contribute back to how are we defining our goals, how are we going to measure those, and how are we going to establish what our strategy is going forward. And then lastly, one of the things that we're doing right now is really laying out and defining that 3-year strategy to ensure that we become a market leader for diversity, equity, and inclusion across all of our competitors.
Wonderful. Well, Jeff, thank you so much for being here today and for sharing these efforts with us. I appreciate it.
Hey, thank you very much for having me today. I'm certainly glad to talk about how we're celebrating Black History Month and how we support the diversity of our workforce year round. So thank you, Amanda.